Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Today we return to talking about that old adage, that old term that is proven more to be true each and every passing day this year. I'm of course talking about it's okay when liberals do it. Yes, we're on about part 8 of this series now because this just seems to keep coming up over and over again in the past year. I believe I started this series about a year ago, last October, and now it's come fully back around almost a full year, and we're talking about it again in relation to Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi is, of course, a big leader in the Democratic Party here in America. Specifically, she's the Speaker of the House, which means she's been elected by her party to lead the House of Representatives, a pretty prestigious position. In fact, she's even third in line to the presidency if something were to happen to both the president and the vice president. God forbid anything like that happens. But Pelosi is third in line, and she's also the leader of the Democrats, and she's also a big stinking hypocrite, as we've seen time and time again. More recently, in the previous It's Okay When Liberals Do It video, we were talking about how Pelosi was partaking in some cultural appropriation. Yes, this was when her and Chuck Schumer wore those African scarves and they knelt and they basically cultural appropriated from Africa as a way to virtue signal and show that they're down with these woke, pro-black BLM causes. That happened a few months back, and now we have an equally very hypocritical story. In fact, I think she might have topped herself this week. Today we're talking about the famous Nancy Pelosi haircut story. That's right, a few days ago, she got a famous haircut in her hometown of San Francisco, a town which has had its stores, specifically hair salons, locked down for many months. But for some reason, Pelosi gets special treatment. And in addition, she also had another thing about her that day that made her even more hypocritical. We're going to talk about that soon. We're going to talk more about this story, go into detail, and talk about why it's so bad. But first, let's take a quick moment to check out our sponsor. Virtual Shield makes the only virtual private network that I know and trust, and I keep it on my computers and smart devices pretty much 24/7, always while I'm browsing online. Virtual Shield has a strict no-log policy, plus it was built from the ground up specifically for privacy protection and not to make a profit off your data. Virtual Shield believes you have a right to remain private, as do we here at NoBS. And now, a special offer due to the recent pandemic, Virtual Shield is offering its services 50% off to help customers in need to protect themselves. So go to my custom link, which is below this video, or you could type in virtualshield.com/NoBS. Great, now that that's out of the way, let's get more into the Pelosi story. Here's a tweet from KTVU that says, Nancy Pelosi's office has confirmed the speaker got her haircut indoors in a San Francisco salon, but released a statement claiming she didn't know she'd done anything wrong. Now, this is obviously a cover-up, a lie, just a falsehood. She's blatantly acting like she thinks we're stupid. That's one of the worst parts about these stories, about these It's Okay stories. It's that the liberals think we're dumb. They think we don't get it. They think we don't see the hypocrisy and how they're putting it right in our faces. They're just showing it off and they don't even care. They think they're better than us and they don't have to follow their own rules. These are rules that they set up. They're the ones that are so gung-ho about lockdowns and also about masks. That's the second part of this story. We'll get more into the details and click on this article soon, but there was video footage released and some pictures and images showing Nancy coming out of the salon. Her hair was wet. She just got it done. And she also wasn't wearing a mask. And that's just two big red flags to show that the Democrats really don't care about this epidemic. They don't care about the pandemic as much as they claim, because if they did, they would be far more careful. I mean, especially someone like Nancy Pelosi. Pelosi is like 100 years old. She is way, way high risk for stuff like this. Now, granted, she had the whole salon to herself. I'm not sure how many people were actually around, and that's worth considering, but that also brings back the point that why does she get this special treatment? Like, these Democrats think they're some sorts of princes or queens or like holier than thou. They think they're better than everyone else. They don't have to follow their own rules that they push. Like, that's the thing that should stress this the most. Like, they're the ones that want to lock everything down more. They're the ones trying to close businesses and make everyone wear masks or else, and they don't even follow their own rules. This happened with another Democrat recently too. Andrew Cuomo is the governor of New York State, and he tweets about masks all the time. He says, if you're not wearing masks, you're a bad person, stuff like that, which is also what Pelosi said. But in Andrew Cuomo's case, to finish up this tangent, he was caught walking his dog in the city without a mask on right after and before he tweeted telling everyone to wear masks. And then Pelosi said the same kind of thing in another interview. She was going after Trump in his speech that he gave at the convention last week, saying, oh, these people didn't have masks on. Trump didn't wear a mask. I think that's evil. I think that he's not listening to the scientists. He's anti-science, and he's throwing dirt in the scientists' faces. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but basically, that's what Pelosi said. And then she goes and pulls the same thing. That's like a double whammy of hypocrisy, a double, it's okay when liberals do it. I mean, first she gets the haircut. She's closed salons and supported closing places in her town of San Francisco, a town which has been ruined under her rule. Like, she's been terrible leader there, not helping at all. In fact, making things far worse, but that's a whole other story. But as far as this haircut thing, the other thing worth noting is, I mean, haircuts are just so unnecessary in all things considered. We're in a pandemic. We're trying to get a lot of things done. She's a politician. She should be working. Having her hair get a little longer a few days is not going to be a big deal. She could easily style it differently, come up with like a ponytail or something like that. But she's just so vain. That's how you know these people are so vain. They're all about appearances and looks and being fake and phony. And she had to get this haircut. And I don't want to sound like too triggered about it. Like, I know it's not the end of the world, but the worst part, again, is the do as I say, not as I do attitude. The Democrats truly think they're better than us, and they also think we're stupid. That's another part I want to stress is they throw this in your face and they really think we're stupid. It's like insulting our intelligence because they don't care about the hypocrisy enough to even pretend that they care. Like, this is them saying she didn't know. Like, oh yeah, she didn't know about the mask, even though she was talking about a mask a week ago, condemning Trump for it. And oh, she didn't know the salons were closed, even though she's sneaking into the back door of a salon that has no one in there. And she even used this salon, like this was like, I think someone else's salon, and she brought in her own people and used it as a location while the people that own the salon can't even work and make money. It's totally insane, totally corrupt, and just a really, really good demonstration of how these Democrats operate. So with all that said, let's get into the details. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Here's some more from this Fox KTVU story. It says Nancy Pelosi confirms she got hair done indoors in San Francisco. Here is a picture from the video. It's her in a robe. Her hair's wet. She's coming out of the salon. I believe it's like a security camera or something. Just basically caught her red-handed. The story reads on. It says, a trip to San Francisco salon has turned into controversy for House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, whose office tells KTVU she didn't think anything wrong by getting her hair done indoors on Monday. Security footage reported on Fox News showed Pelosi with wet hair and without a mask inside of an e-salon in apparent defiance of COVID rules. In San Francisco, face coverings are mandatory in most public settings. Salons may only cut hair outdoors under new rules that took effect on Tuesday. The speaker always wears a mask and complies with local COVID requirements. This business offered for the speaker to come in on Monday and told her they were allowed by the city to have one customer at a time in the business. The speaker complied with the rules as presented to her by this establishment, said Drew Hamill, Deputy Chief of Staff for Pelosi. So I'm not sure if this is a cover-up or if this is a true statement. I mean, we did just hear a contradictory statement about the laws saying there was no indoor haircuts, and then they allowed outdoor ones only after Tuesday. And then it seems like the staffer is saying she got some kind of special treatment and she got like some kind of special deal to let her in, which is just more special treatment, more like do as I say, not as I do crap. That's just really getting on people's nerves. This is why people are turning away from Democrats. They can't stand these hypocrisies. They can't stand being lied to your face. And also just like, let's be real. She's another very, very old, out-of-date politician, just like Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Joe Biden, Jerry Nadler. Like, these are people that have been in politics for like 50 years each, and they just know nothing, and they just won't get out of office. They can't get removed because they just have so much name recognition. They're in these Democratic stronghold areas where they're just always going to win, and it's ruining those places. That's why we need a two-party system. That's why these places and these elected offices need competition, because if there's no competition, this is what happens. You get these policies and these people that rest on their laurels. They can just do whatever they want. They don't have to listen to people and compete for votes. They just know they're going to win at a certain point. And that's a really, really dangerous setup. And it's another reason why people should consider term limits for Congress Congress and the Senate. I mean, we have term limits for the presidency and lots of other political offices. So I don't see why that shouldn't be considered for representatives and stuff, especially seeing how things have gone in the recent history. I mean, this probably wasn't as big a problem in the past, like maybe 100 years ago. Life expectancy wasn't even as high nearly. I mean, people certainly lived long, but your highest life expectancy might have been 70 back in the day, maybe even 60 in early American times. So they didn't have to consider this problem. This is a new problem that's developed with, modern technology, medicine, people living longer. Now we have these politicians in office for 50 years, and it's turned things totally corrupt. On Tuesday afternoon, E-Salon appeared to be closed. KTVU has not yet reached the salon owner. But according to Fox News, owner Erica Kios said that Pelosi had an appointment with a stylist who rents space in the Union Street salon. It was a slap in the face that she went in, that she feels that she can just go and get her stuff done while no one else can go in, and I can't work, Kios reportedly said about Pelosi. The stylist washed Pelosi's hair and gave her a blow dry, Kios said. After visiting the salon, Pelosi appeared on MSNBC around 5:30 p.m. with an image of a foggy Golden Gate Bridge behind her. So this is her after the haircut. This is another tweet that came afterwards. And yeah, the owner appears to have said this is a slap in the face. Like, this is not something that she's approving of. She's seen the hypocrisy. She's seen how she can't work, but these Democrats can get their special treatments. And as we've said and have shown different examples, this is not the first time. This has happened with Pelosi multiple times in the past. This is happening with other people in the present. Democrats are throwing it in our faces. They really think they're better than us, and they also think we're stupid. They think we're these kinds of sheep people that won't even notice, but we are. That's why I'm making the video. That's why we're talking about it today. And that's why I really think it's important for us to keep this in mind, especially with the presidential election coming in November. Think about this. This is a Biden supporter. This is what is going to be happening in our country more if we vote in the Democrats. With all that said, that about wraps things up. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. Let's get a discussion going about Pelosi, Democrats, and how they constantly think it's okay when they do it. In addition, hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. Subscribe if you're new, and hit that bell for notifications too. You can also become a member of this channel by clicking the membership button below any video, and this will give you special perks like emoji icons, appearances on live streams, and all kinds of other cool stuff. It also helps support this channel and keep us afloat. So thanks for that. Have a great day. Everyone stay safe. We'll see you on the next one.